All right, everyone, I am making my way into Woodville, Mississippi. This is downtown. They've got a square here with a county courthouse in the middle. So I'm going to pull into here and get a closer look. A lot of what looks like late 1800s, early 1900s architecture. Looks pretty amazing. All right, let's get a closer look at this county courthouse. All right, Woodville is the county seat for Wilkinson County. This is the county courthouse. Let me see if I can get through these trees. Built in 1924. That is colonial revival architecture. It's beautiful, isn't it? Let me show you a map. You can see where I'm at. Southwest corner of Mississippi. Let me give you the population history. Peak population 1960, 1856. Last census down to 928. That's exactly half the population gone. Yeah, anyway, I fully expected it to be very quiet, hardly any traffic, but there's quite a lot of activity here. Jefferson Davis, he was the president of the Confederacy. Grew up here. He wasn't born here, but he spent much of his childhood here. And I'm going to go to the house that he grew up in here shortly. But this tree here is called the Jefferson Oak. I believe it's well over 200 years old. Yeah, there's a placard here. Let's get a look at it. Jefferson Davis Oak, 1775-1780. American Live Oak Society, United Daughters of the Confederacy. Yeah. Make sure you get a look at it. It's pretty awesome, huh? Median age here is 50. A little bit older town. Let me give you the ethnic breakdown. 71% black, 23% white, 1% Hispanic. The remaining is mixed race or other. Cool, yeah, let's see what else we can find here. The downtown is really good shape. Lots of beautiful old buildings. Pretty much all of this downtown is on a national register, by the way. But a lot of stores, the storefronts, have got businesses. Let's see, let me give you the median household income. $52,894 a year. Just over $1,000 a week. It's not bad with the cost of living this low, and 84, 16% lower than the rest of the U.S. Goods and services are the highest at 105. Housing's lowest at 55. Okay. Yeah, it feels very deep south here. That's just the vibe you get. Anyway, in 1840, well, first of all, let me tell you this. This is one of the oldest towns in the state of Mississippi, founded in 1811. By 1840, it was a center for slavery and cotton production. A lot of slaves brought in to pick cotton. At the time, 76% of the town, the population, 76%, was enslaved. Today, the top industry is timber. This is Town Hall. Pretty cool, huh? Built in 1902, this building. And, well, here's a placard. Let's take a look at it. Woodville, chartered in 1811, was Jefferson Davis' boyhood home. General Poindexter lived here. West Feliciana Railroad, begun by Edward McGahee. I'm pronouncing that wrong. 1831 was first in the state and second in Mississippi Valley. I'm out on a side street now, just trying to get a feel of the downtown. Age limit 25 and up, no loitering. I wonder what that means. And it's like an old abandoned gas station. Is there prices? Nope. Alright, just outside of downtown is this spot. This is where the Woodville Republican operates out of. This is the oldest newspaper in Mississippi. It is also the oldest continuously operating business in the state of Mississippi. Woodville Republican. The Republican, established 1823 by William Chisholm, the oldest newspaper and business institution in continuous operation in Mississippi. Operated by the Lewis family for over 100 years. And they still operate it to this day. Alright, I'm out in the streets of the town. Let's see what we can find. Let's see what kind of interesting homes are here. Alright, let me give you the poverty rate. 8.4 overall. School-aged children, 0. Wow. 65 and older is 15%. Now, are you ready for crime? Last year, 5 incidents per 1,000 people. The U.S. is 21 per 1,000 people. Crime here is what? 75% lower? Is my math right? Than the rest of the U.S.? They had 5 crimes total here last year. 1 violent, 4 property. Yeah, that is really low crime. If you live here, you got to be happy about that. I'm sure everybody knows everyone else here, though. Alright, well, I'm just giving you a look at some of the beautiful homes. St. Paul's Episcopal. You got another church across the street. That is very nice here. Well, that is some kind of house, huh? Could use a little work, but it's really nice. Well, all right. I gotta admit, I'm really impressed by this town. It's really nice. Okay, well, let's keep this moving. Let's head to the next town. Rosemont, Jefferson Davis boyhood home, built 1810 by Father Samuel Davis. First schooling in log cabin here. Jane Cook Davis, his mother, died here in 1845 and is buried here with others of the family. Yeah, unfortunately, can't get to it. It looks like you have to call for tours. I was hoping I could at least see the house. Dang. Holy cow. That is a tremendous amount of stuff, isn't it? Woo! I am in Centerville, Mississippi. This abandoned building looks like it. I was going to say it might have been a hospital, but no, I don't think so. I'm not sure. It's just outside of downtown. So I'm gonna head in, take a look real quick. Yeah, there's another abandoned building right there. Not sure what that is, or was. All right, now that truck's went by, let me show you a map. You can see where I'm at. And population history, 1950. Peak population, 2,025 people. Last census down to 1,258. All right, had a bit of traffic there. So I had to turn the camera off for a second. See what else is here. Those have been long abandoned, haven't they? Well, there's a little bit more downtown right up here. Well, all right. Let's see what else we can find. All right, median age here is 30. That's pretty young. Let me go ahead and give you the ethnic breakdown. 71% black, 22% white, and the rest is mixed race or other. It's a huge house. Median household income, $42,000 a year. Yeah, that's not much money, is it? A little over $800 a week. Got some abandoned mobile homes here, it looks like. Let me give you poverty. 24.2 overall. School-age children is 25%. 65 and older is 15%. And those are all about twice higher than the U.S. I'm not sure what that was. Barber shop? It says. This town started out as a rail hub. The railroad was brought to this town specifically to transport cotton out of the region to parts beyond. Let's see, crime, again real low, like the last town. 6 incidents per 1,000 people last year. Second, very low crime, rural Mississippi town. All right, let's see. Got one more number to give you. The median home value. It's $67,000. That is a fantastic old house, isn't it? Barely see it through the trees. Well, all right, guys. That's enough for here, I'm thinking. Let's head to the next town. When I'm out on the roads in between these towns, you can almost always see some amazing sights like this. Abandoned gas station. It's that eerie, isn't it? Well, I am heading into Gloster, Mississippi. This is downtown. There's the post office. Yeah, let's take a look. See what they have going on here. Welcome to Gloucester. Awesome. Some pretty neat old buildings here. Median age of the town is 48. This town's a bit older. Well, all right, I'm going to head into residential now. And let's take a look-see. See what's going on here. Nature has taken that one, isn't it? Looks like it's taken this one right here as well. That one looks spooky. All right. Well, I haven't showed you a map yet. Let me do that right now. Let's see where I am. And here's population history. 1980, peak population, 1726. Last census down to 897. The town started out as a railroad stop, but today the primary industry is timber. There is a large sawmill here in town. There's also a big biomass plant. That's where they take the waste from wood, probably from the sawmill, sawdust, that kind of thing, compress it into little pellets, and use those pellets for fuel to generate electricity. Pretty much everything in this town is, as far as the economy, revolves around wood, trees, that kind of thing. Here's the median household income. $23,603 a year. It's only $454 a week. That is very, very low income. I don't know how you can even live on that. Not these days, even in a town like this with a low cost of living. It's an 81, 19% lower than the rest of the U.S. Goods and services, again, 105. Housing's 45. I'm not sure if that's abandoned or not. I just don't maintain their yard, I guess. Here's the poverty rate. 29.4 overall. 17 and under, it's 20. 65 and older, it's 19. Crime last year, no crimes reported. I'm sure there were some crimes, but yeah, none got reported to the FBI. This beautiful old Carpenter Gothic church. Here's a house with a tremendous amount of stuff. A lot going on there, isn't there? All right, here is the median home value, $73,000. Wow, that's really low, isn't it? Oh, well, for all you dog lovers, dog sighting. That's going to be it for this part of the video. Up next, Nicole and I are going to take a look at Vicksburg, one of the most historic Civil War towns. It is the spot where the tide for the war changed in favor of the Union. So we will dive into that a bit, check out some of the sights, and of course, have an early dinner at a local restaurant. So that's all coming up next. Hang tight, and we will see you there. We are in beautiful downtown Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's a small city of about 20,000 people. It's along the Mississippi River. Pretty important port city in the early mid-1800s. Top employers today are, well, the number one employer is the Army Corps of Engineers. They work along the Mississippi. And the Mississippi National Guard is here. That's where they're located. Agriculture and tourism. Tourism is a big industry here. Why?
I know why.
Because of its history and the Civil War, right?
Yep. That's exactly why. Well, that's what I would say.
Yeah. There were two huge events that turned the tide of the war to the Union.
One was Gettysburg.
Gettysburg in, July 3rd, 1863. 1863. Yeah, Gettysburg fell. And then the very next day, July 4th, Vicksburg fell. Ulysses S. Grant and the Union Army had laid siege to the city, choking it off from supplies, provisions. And after, 47 days, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, 47 days, Vicksburg surrendered. And those two events
Turned the tide of the war.
turned the tide of the war. The bloodiest war in our history. Almost 700,000 people died.
Oh my.
2% of the U.S. population at the time.
Wow.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, we are entering Vicksburg National Military Park. This is a tour of the battlegrounds
Entering Union lines.
of the siege of Vicksburg. There are a lot of monuments from the different states. So those of you, of course, who are in different states watching this, you may see your state represented. And that will be particularly interesting to you. All right. Here we go. This is the monument to Minnesota, to the soldiers of the state who fought and died in the Civil War.
Magnificent monument, huh?
Yeah, and it has this in the front of it. What is this?
Well, I don't even think she has a real name. I just read that she's an allegorical figure, but she represents peace. And you can see she's holding a sword and a shield, and that represents both the Union armies and the Confederate armies and how they placed their weapons in her keeping at the end of the Civil War.
In various spots, you can see where cannons were placed, overlooking the battlefield. This is a monument to the state of Michigan. And down here is a line of cannons. This was part of the Union line as they laid siege to Vicksburg to prevent the Confederate soldiers from escaping. And the Confederate line is over there. We'll get to it here shortly. All right, Nicole, tell us some more about these guns.
Well, this is the largest battery. It has guns from Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois, and apparently it was fired. They were fired nonstop to the Confederate defenses right at the Great Redoubt, which was a key fort in the Battle of Vicksburg.
Yeah, I don't think the fort's here anymore, but anyway, there's the battlefield.
That would have been cool, though, huh?
Yeah. This is the Wisconsin monument. It is an impressive one. Let's get a closer look. There's a bald eagle up there at the top. And then some statues of soldiers on each side. Well, let's see what it says here. This memorial is dedicated in grateful remembrance of the faithful service, unselfish devotion, and exalted patriotism of Wisconsin soldiers, engaged in the campaign and siege of Vicksburg, March 29, July 4, 1863. Those of you in Wisconsin, you should be proud. Your memorial is beautiful. Something. One of the first battles happened here. There was a huge Confederate fort right up here, and the Union tried attacking it. Almost all of the soldiers were killed, and it is for that reason that Ulysses S. Grant decided to lay siege instead. Here is one of the trenches that were dug when they began to do that. All right, now way over there is where I just was. That's where the Union tried to attack the Confederacy and lost in a big way. This is the Confederate line that held and repelled the Union. As you can see, the Confederacy had the high ground. That's really interesting. This is a monument to that battle. Missouri 5th Infantry repulse of Union assault, May 22, 1863. And let's see what this is over here. I think Nicole will tell us. So what is this here? It looks like Missouri.
Yes, and that figure, she's called the Spirit of the Republic.
I
And
see.
apparently this monument is one of only two that recognizes soldiers on both sides of the Civil War, both the Union and the Confederate, because the state of Missouri had men fighting on both sides.
Okay.
So, and this also symbolizes reconciliation.
Yeah, for the two, even though they were from the same state, they were fighting against each other. Everywhere along the battle lines, you can see the dilemma that the Union faced. Confederates would stay up here on the top of the hill here, had the high ground, and the Union was trying to attack from down below. This is the Arkansas Memorial. Let's see what it says here. To the Arkansas Confederate soldiers and sailors, a part of a nation divided by the sword and reunited at the altar of faith. This is the Tennessee Memorial, dedicated to the Tennessee Confederate soldiers who served in defense of Vicksburg. Yeah, and the Tennessee Confederate line is right up here. Yeah, so this is the Tennessee line for the Confederacy. Can you imagine trying to attack from down there? Yeah, complete disadvantage to the Union. Confederate line, 6th Mississippi Detachment. Yeah, this is the line that soldiers from Mississippi held for the Confederacy. You can see it's up on a bluff. Ground's way below down there. That's where the Union was. And it overlooks the Mississippi River. You can see it here in the distance. And you can't see through all the trees, but the Mississippi winds through this way. Amazing, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see all this still. You can still kind of picture it. Well,
You can
maybe
picture,
not picture it, but yeah, kind of picture it in your mind. You know, you can.
yeah, soldiers, Confederate soldiers are up here on this hill. The Union was down there trying to figure out how to attack. It's not going to happen. Campaign, siege, and defense of Vicksburg, 1863. Operations of the river batteries, March 29, July 4. Yeah, it is from this spot that Confederate soldiers from Tennessee and Louisiana defended Vicksburg. You can see the Mississippi. The Union sent gunboats up this is a canal, up the canal here to bomb the Confederate positions from exactly where we're standing. And of course the Confederates bombed them back with their huge cannons they had up here, sank several of the Union ships, and they ended up retreating. A stronghold on the bluffs Mid-19th century America, rivers were highways, and the Mississippi was the greatest of them all, the nation's main artery for commerce, leading all the way to the Gulf. By early 1863, 2 Confederate strongholds still blocked Union shipping from a key section of the river, Port Hudson in Louisiana, and here at Vicksburg. Vicksburg river port and railroad hub were critical to the Confederacy. Vital supplies and troops arrived from the south and the west, then traveled to armies in the east via railroad. Powerful cannon on the bluffs commanded this important stretch of the Mississippi River. Yeah, you were standing at the highest point along the Vicksburg bluffs. During the Civil War, this spot provided a perfect perch for Confederate guns to guard the Mississippi and to prevent Union vessels from getting past. This is a picture of the USS Cairo, the last of its kind. December 12, 1862, the ironclad boat Cairo was sunk in the Yazoo River while mine clearing. The vessel was found in 1956, raised, restored, and relocated here. The Cairo is the only remaining ironclad of its type in existence. The first use of an ironclad gunboat in combat in 1862 made every wooden warship in the world obsolete. Both North and South rushed to build these deadly new vessels, but the North's industrial might gave the Union the advantage. The Cairo and her 6 sister boats dominated the Mississippi. And it's right over there. Let's go take a look. So here it is, the USS Cairo, or what's left of it. By the way, it is pronounced Cairo, before anybody starts commenting that, why am I saying Cairo instead of Cairo? Yeah, it is pronounced Cairo, just like the town in Illinois. So basically what's left is the wooden guts, looks like. And the metal, the iron, is gone.
That's cool.
Yeah. Man, can you imagine seeing one of these come when you're on a wooden ship? Oh, we can go in there, all right. Inside the ship they had these boilers, and they converted water to steam, and they would push these pistons right here. And I guess the water would go through the middle here, and you can see those wheels there propel the boat. Hopefully you can see that. This is the capstan, a winch. It was used to move heavy items like the cannons and the anchor. It smells incredible in here, doesn't it? Like really old wood.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Moldy wood. There is a national cemetery here on site. Give you a quick look at it. And by the way, there are a lot of areas of the military park I'm not able to show you because they had a pretty significant section of road washout, and so it's closed off. That includes the spectacular Illinois Memorial. It's too bad I don't get to show that one to you because it is amazing. This is the Mississippi Monument. Pretty spectacular, as well it should be since we're in the host state of the park, where it all happened. Make sure you get a good look there. The end in sight. After 40 days under siege, the battle could only end in surrender or a dramatic rescue. Inside Vicksburg, General Pemberton faced harsh realities. 1/3 of his troops were too sick to fight. Drinking water was contaminated. They were short of food and ammunition. Union troops and cannon completely surrounded him. Then came a final message from General Johnston saying his army in central Mississippi was too weak to relieve Vicksburg. Pemberton asked Grant for surrender terms. Grant did not want to have to feed 30,000 prisoners of war or transport so many men north to prison camps, so he offered to let Vicksburg's defenders go home if they promised that they would not fight against the United States again. Pemberton accepted the terms. On July 4th, the Confederates handed over their guns. Union troops marched victoriously into the city. And this is the two generals. Just having a conversation, it looks like.
Smoking a ciggy.
Yep. And then here is the actual hill, little bluff where that happened. Alright, so here's the spot where the two men were sitting. Memorialized with this, looks like a cannon, placed upside down into the ground. Oh, here we go. Site of interview between Major Generals Grant, USA, and General Pemberton, July 4th, 1863. Wow, what a place of history this is. This is an amazing place to just stand knowing those two generals stood here. You know? I got goosebumps. It's amazing. And by the way, there in the distance from where I'm standing, that is the spectacular Illinois Memorial. You can see it's shrouded in scaffolding and can't get to it, which really sucks. So there's a look at the military park. Let's check out a few other things here, including this across the street. Beidenharn Coca-Cola Museum. Why would they have a Coca-Cola museum here, do you think?
Maybe they were the first ones to bottle it?
That's exactly right. Up till this guy who owned this soda shop bottled Coca-Cola, that was the only way he could get it, was at a soda shop, fountain. But this guy got the idea to put it in a bottle.
I bet you that made him rich.
I'm not sure, but he was the very first person to do that. The very first bottle of Coke. When I say that, Coke in a bottle happened right here in Vicksburg. There's the Yazoo and Mississippi train depot.
Oh, cool.
And rail lines, which run along the Mississippi River, which is right there. And they've got a couple of cabooses, huh?
And shake your caboose. I think they're cabooses. Is that what they are?
Yes, those are cabooses. And there it is, the mighty Mississippi. Now they have an extensive set of murals here along the levee wall. Let's go check them out. The murals along the Mississippi River tell the story of Vicksburg, of the area. This, of course, is a Native American village long before Europeans arrived. What it may have looked like. Of course, there's the Mississippi River right there. Early settlers and the first fort. Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, lived here before the war, right here in Vicksburg. This is a mural of him and his wife at their home. He had just received a letter informing him that he had been elected the president of the Confederacy. A mural of a couple of ironclads battling on the Mississippi, right outside of Vicksburg. That there is the old county courthouse. Still there to this day, it's a museum. This is a mural of Joseph Beidenharn bottling Coca-Cola for the first time in its history. Again, right here in Vicksburg. Believe it or not, in the late 1800s, trains were ferried across the Mississippi. Here's a picture of one of them right here. That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
Until they made the bridge, until they constructed the bridge.
Right.
In 1930? Yes.
Right. Yeah, one of the very first ones was built outside of Vicksburg here. And then right here is the street we just walked down.
Looks a little different.
It's different, but similar. Yeah, this is Main Street, Vicksburg. This is a mural of Teddy Roosevelt on a bear hunt about 25 miles north of here in Mississippi. And he was relaxing at the campsite when his aides came to him. Apparently, several of them had cornered a bear and injured it enough to where it really couldn't fight back. And so he went to the site. They cornered the bear so he could kill the bear, but he decided against it. He spared the bear's life. And shortly after that,
That's so warm.
people, it made national news, And toy makers started making teddy bears. And that's where the term teddy bear came from. Right here in Mississippi, when Teddy Roosevelt refused to kill a bear. This mural is from 1901 when President McKinley visited Vicksburg, celebrating Vicksburg's role as one of the top cotton exporters. All right, we are going to have an early dinner at a restaurant called Walnut Hills. It is considered one of the top 10 restaurants in the entire state.
Oh, wow.
Southern Living and Homes and Gardens, a lot of other publications have been here to try out the food. It is traditional Southern cooking.
Yeah.
And it's in an old house, like these houses here. Yeah, so let's go check it out.
Ourselves then, that's fine. That was only a little bar top. Is that what you want to do?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go here. Thank you.
All right, we'll set at the bar. It's a quaint little restaurant. Let me get you a quick look at it. Yeah. Okay. We're looking at the menu, and we're going to have the very southern appetizer, fried green tomatoes.
Wasn't there a movie named that?
Sure was.
I know, I've seen it.
All right, the appetizers here, fried green tomatoes with a crab sauce.
Smells amazing.
It does smell amazing. Lots of good color on it too.
Yes, absolutely.
And these, of course, are tomatoes. All right, let's check it out. Thoughts on the fried green tomatoes? They're delicious. Really flavorful breading. There's a little cup here. You can see the green tomato. Nicole was wondering, what are green tomatoes? Are they just not ripe? And the bartender informed us, no, they're just regular tomatoes, but they're green.
They're a type of tomato, she says.
Yeah, that sauce is good, isn't it?
That's my favorite part of this, I have to say. It's a crab sauce, and it's very yummy.
Yeah, it's very good. All right, for entrees, I want to have the world famous Walnut Hills fried chicken.
Are we sure it's world famous?
World famous. She said it takes 20 minutes or 18 to 20 minutes to cook. And I'm going to have it with mashed potatoes and sauteed spinach. And you are having...
I'm going to have some blackened catfish, Mississippi catfish, because I'm told it's the best.
Mississippi farm-raised catfish.
Oh my gosh, you just
Yeah.
love to correct the woman, don't you?
The world's best, they say. What's your side's going to be?
Gosh.
What
Are you
size?
sure you're going to let me talk then?
What sides are you going to have?
I'm gonna do broccoli and sauteed green beans.
Broccoli and sauteed green beans. All right.
Yes.
Can't wait to see what it looks like and tastes like.
Looking forward to it. Yum.
Our food is here. My fried chicken smells amazing.
Yes, it does.
This is spinach and then mashed potatoes with a little gravy there in the middle. And you've got some...
Look at that catfish. Look how plump it is.
Yeah.
That's what I want to dig into. And then the broccoli looks good, and the green beans, and yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, we're going to dig in. Thoughts on the food? Yes, the fried chicken is delicious. It's amazing batter on it. I would say 13 or maybe 14 herbs and spices. I think they've got the Colonel beat by 1 or 2 at least.
You can't even remember how many the Colonel used.
He uses 11. Of course I remember.
Oh, well, I guess that's okay.
Spinach is awesome. It feels like or tastes like it's got a lot of butter in it. It's really good.
That is good.
Probably very unhealthy too. I usually eat spinach because it's healthy. I don't think this spinach is healthy, but that's Southern cooking for you.
Yeah, there you go.
They take healthy stuff and make it unhealthy, but it's delicious. Excellent mashed
Chicken
potatoes.
being number one.
Chicken being number one. Mashed potatoes, they're hand cut and hand mashed. You can tell. Really good. How's yours?
My blackened catfish is amazing. The fillets of catfish, they're nice and plump, juicy catfish, and the blackening seasoning, they use enough of it. I hate when people are afraid to use it. They use it,
Well, we're in the south, near Louisiana. They're going to not be scared of the blackening.
Yes, and so they use it well. They use enough of it. It's yummy.
Broccoli?
Broccoli's cooked the way I like it. It's firm. It's not mushy. I hate
But
mushy broccoli.
But you're not crazy about the green beans.
Nah, green beans, sorry. It's somewhat negative of the meal. But
Yeah.
that's okay because the rest was yummy.
Yeah, we're a bit surprised. Those taste like they came out of a can. So, but everything else is fantastic.
Yes.
For dessert, we're having pecan praline pie, warmed up.
Yum.
Smells really good.
So it does.
Very southern. We're making short work of this because it is incredible. You think? It's one of the best pecan pies I've ever had. And I love pecan pie. Well, I'm a southern boy.
High praise.
I'm a southern boy. I'm not from Pennsylvania. I'm from the south.
We Northerners have our good points.
If you say so. Yeah, it's really good. All right, everyone, here's the tab. Well, we're paying credit, so $123.50. Yeah, what do you think? Not what I expected.
Yeah, that's what
Not what I
I expected too. Everything was very good, so it was worth it.
Yep. One of the top restaurants in Mississippi. Yeah. So there it is, guys, the tab.
The pie was my favorite part.
Pie was good.
And that's actually the cheapest part.
Yeah. Right. All right. We're going to continue our trek across the deep south to where?
Alabama.
Alabama. Sweet home Alabama?
Alabama.
Coming up next. I'll see you guys there.